The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
What's going on across the land? It ain't nothing. Yeah, we here. You know what it is, man. That's a live look at the Tostitos Championship Plaza outside in front of the Ford Center. It's a Hanging with the Boys specialty.
Yeah.
It's wet.
Right out of the gate.
It's wet. It's a wet one. Yeah, it's raining outside a lot. That's how we like it. Went here at Hanging with the Boys. Our boy Nate is not with us today. He will call in at some point in time in one of these segments. But it is me, it is Kurt, it is Chris. We're all here. That is Kurt Daniels, senior editor at DallasCowboys.com, Emmy Award winner. Chris is in the back holding it down, doing what he does in that dark room with the lotion on the counter.
Oh, God. What? Were you expecting that one, Chris?
There is no lotion on this counter. Maybe some hand sanitizer.
Whatever your thing is. I am Zaddy Holly. Together we make Hanging with the Boys, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel us when we speak.
Yes.
We are a couple days away from, what is it, Super Bowl 59?
No,
64?
4, I think.
Okay. Super Bowl 54. Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles are getting ready, set to go to play that game. But, of course, you know, some news happened.
Yeah.
Some coordinators were named, and things are kind of taking the first steps of the Cowboys offseason. Let me say this. You know what's kind of irritating me a little bit about the Cowboys? Like hearing them talk in Mobile, Jerry and Steven and the likes. There's this level of this cavalier. It's no sense of urgency. It's just, we'll get there when we get there. And that I don't know why, but it's gotten to me a little bit.
Has it?
It has.
You want to see them feel a little more pressure per se, or be like, yes, more excited, or
no? I want the language to be from Jerry, from Steven, from Coach McCarthy. I want it to be a more aggressive language. I don't want it to be, we're not trying to play the all-in game, and we like to be in the middle, and we're going to build this thing for the long term. How long?
Well,
Kurt, we're close to 30 years.
Yeah, getting there.
Yeah.
It's hard to listen to those talks and get any excitement. I agree, especially when Jerry, and he is, he'll mix up his words, and it doesn't always come out like maybe he wins. But when he said, I'm good in the middle, it's just not the kind of thing you want to hear.
And that's what I'm saying. And especially when you look up and you're saying, boy, it's not just an NFC team that's going to the Super Bowl. That's in the Super Bowl, but it's a division rival. A team that's lapped you in the sense. A team that's front office this year. Yeah, twice. A team that's front office this year put on a masterclass.
Yeah.
On how to maneuver and work things to the best of your ability to get talent in and to maximize talent. And it just seems as if the Cowboys are going in the wrong direction.
Right.
And while everyone is moving at one speed in the football world, right? Not the media portion, not the dress it up nice and neat, like literally in football movement, they're moving in a direction that we at times I feel like we're not moving in that direction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's the last 3 NFC Super Bowl teams have been the Buccaneers, Rams, and now the Eagles, who have been very aggressive in free agency and making trades. I mean, you look at some of the additions they've all added, and yet the Cowboys are still, let's draft and develop, for now 27 years. And it makes you wonder, is that the new formula? And is that something that they need? If they're going to get over the top, yes, they're going to be good. They've got pieces in place. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a contender. But to get to that Super Bowl, do they need to be more aggressive in what they're doing?
They do. Yeah. And I, one of the things I absolutely love about Jerry Jones is for a long portion of his life, he's been the innovator, right? He's been the risk taker. He's been the one who has kind of pushed the envelope, so to speak, to progressively grow the brand and the marketing and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day where there was no salary cap, like you saw an aggressive Jerry. Like he was signing guys left and right. Yeah. And I get the salary cap has come, but there's enough smart people, math, numbers people who know how to move and make that thing work into a space where you can get people that you want. Free agency, it's look at the way the college game is going. Mm-hmm. Coaches now, unless you're the University of Texas, who has, I think Texas had like 3,000 scholarships. They just sign guys every.
Crazy,
they just like, every time I look up, like 5-star scholarships. I'm like, how many scholarships does Texas have? Yeah. But you look at more coaches now that they've opened up this portal, and you can play right away. More coaches are just saying, you know what? I'm just going to go get the sophomore, the junior transfer portal, and not get a scholarship to a freshman. Because
they already know what they got.
No one wants to draft or recruit and develop. John Calipari was really on the forefront of this thing 10 years ago where he was bringing in the one-and-dones, right? He turned Kentucky into a G League where they were having like practices and scouts were coming to watch Kentucky's practices. Yeah. I think it's supposed to push a lot of those coaches out. My coach, a lot of coaches, they just can't handle the way that this thing is being going now. Mm-hmm. But I say that to say that the Cowboys need to kind of treat their system like that. Like, I get it, draft and develop. But you got to go and get some guys who are right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, not, hey, if Jalen Tolbert, we see the skill set and if it pans out, if it works out, if all things align, if the stars and the moons and the skies, if you're in an Aries sun and a wall of 4 Capricorn moon, like all those things have to kind of come together for it to work in unison and in harmony, and then you get there and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And now you're like, we let Amari walk for a bag of rocks, and this thing that we hoped worked. Yeah. Or hey, we're gonna do this with the offense. You go get the guys.
Right. Yeah, there's a definite philosophy out there, and you see it in baseball for a long time, although their draft is even more of a crapshoot. But you're seeing it now more in football, I think, where the draft picks aren't maybe as important to some teams as they used to be. They want the known commodity.
Yeah.
And so there's some value in that. And I don't know, at some point, the draft and develop you have to augment that with some guys that are really making an impact.
That's the old model.
Yeah.
The old model, because you had coaches who were giving a 4, 5, 6-year chance for things. You don't have that anymore. Yeah. Like, you got guys who get contract extensions and get fired the next year.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, coaches been getting like, hey, we're going to sign this coach. Oh, no, in fact, we're not. We're going to fire him the very next year. So coaches don't have the ability anymore to sit back and allow guys to develop. Those, again, that's old football. Where quarterbacks, you drafted them in the top 5 pick and they set for a year or two, right, and then you brought them along that way. No. Quarterbacks, you got to come out and go right now.
Yeah.
Like players, you have to come out and be a significant contributor, and some are, but a lot aren't. Right. And if that's the method of which you're going to build your football team in, you'll always finish close but no cigar. Oh, we might have been there, because other teams are going to say, while you're developing that young kid who may be something in 3 or 4 years, hey, I'm going to go sign this former Pro Bowler,
right?
Who understands football, who understands what it means to be a professional, who understands how to watch film, how to evaluate film, how to take care of his body, how to do all these different things that these young guys are learning to do. So I agree with you. I think there needs to be a good mix of that. of, hey, we're gonna get some guys, because you have to, right? You get first-round picks. Those first-round picks are guys who you want to come in, and even if they play early on, you want to draft. But your team can't consist of a whole bunch of those guys.
No.
You can't have potential. What is the old saying? Potential get you fired?
Yeah.
The only problem here is
Well,
for the guys, the top dog ain't getting fired.
No.
That's the uniqueness of what's here is the top dog. He can bet on the potential all he wants because he ain't firing him.
No. Although I wonder if the age, he's getting up there in age. If maybe there is a deadline starting to get a little closer than it was 20 years ago.
But can you teach old dog new tricks, Kurt?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's, if you look at those teams of the 90s when they won the 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, those were really built 88, Michael Irvin came on, 89, 90, 91, even 92 draft, all that. That's when those teams were built. Even the 95 squad was largely built ahead of that. Well, free agency, as we kind of know it today, started in 93. I mean, they had Plan B free agency, but that was still pretty restrictive, and it was almost players didn't want that because it means their team won them. Free agency started in 93, and the salary cap, I believe, started in 94. And since that time, they haven't been to a Super Bowl, so it kind of, is roster management been an issue for this team? Is that the reason why? Managing that salary cap and be able to draft and get the right free agents in, spend the money when you need to. It seemingly has been a problem.
And it has. And the players have been here, right? We can go along the lines and think about all the great players have been here from the 90s to the early 2000s, the 2010s, and as we're heading into is this the 20th century? The 21st century? 22nd? 21st century.
Yes.
There's going to be players, like you're going to get a player or two here in Dallas. And then, of course, on the flip side is, while we talk about the clock ticking on Jerry Jones, and we're not being morbid about that, but the clock ticking on Dak Prescott too.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the Cowboys, I don't know what God they believe in, but they have been one of the luckiest franchises when it's come to franchise quarterbacks than anyone in the league.
Yeah.
Than anyone in the league. Think about it now. For the this is Dak Prescott just finished his 7th season. So when did Tony start? 2008?
Well, he was.
What time did he?
2006 is when I think he took over.
Okay, so
midway through.
So we're talking the better part of 20 years, right? Not close to, but 16 years.
Yeah.
Is that more than 16 years? Yeah, about 16 years, 16, 17 years. The Cowboys have made franchise quarterbacks of an undrafted free agent who almost didn't come here.
Yeah.
And a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
And have been, at point in times in that 16, 17-year window, Super Bowl contenders, division winners.
Yeah, they've had some good teams.
They've had some teams.
2007 they should have been to the Super Bowl that year. They had a good team.
And that's it. Like, so you've lucked up with that. Like, you're going to unless the Cowboys make some changes in how they approach certain things, you're gonna cycle back around to that window of who was that? Like, not Vinny Testaverde,
yeah,
Chad Hutchinson, and
Carter was in there.
Quincy Carter. Like, you're gonna circle back to that because you're not gonna be really good enough to go up into the first round. I mean, bad enough to go up into the first round and pick someone in the top 5 or 10 picks, right? You're gonna always be in that middle of the road, draft pick from 17 to 25, and so you're either gonna have to reach for a guy, mortgage your future for a guy, or try to look up again and find your next Tony Romo / Dak Prescott. And that's a tough way to live and do business in the future.
Yeah.
But
what did you think of Jerry, just talking about the draft and the quarterback? Jerry had said that he'd wished he'd draft a quarterback every year or something like that.
The experts who talk about drafting, and I'm not one of them, say that you should always get a quarterback in the draft every year. Like, even if it's a late round, if it's a Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant type pick, like every single year, you should just go ahead. Use the 6th-round pick and just grab one. Use the 5th-round pick if you don't have nothing of need at that point in time, and just grab one. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But maybe you find the diamond in the rough.
concern is there's always a need still.
There's always a need.
Yeah,
there's always a need for
somebody
quarterback.
else. Well, I mean, there's always a need at some other position who that could step in and.
Ask San Fran, they couldn't. They didn't need a quarterback.
Yeah,
at that point in time. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to get into this Brian Schottenheimer thing. He's been named the OC. Is he the OC? He's the play calling OC, the practice OC. We'll get into that. How will that affect Dak Prescott? How will this team be identified now under Brian Schottenheimer / Mike McCarthy? Kurt and I will discuss all of those things. We may get Nate to call in, but I want you to stay right here with us. We'll be right back. This is Hanging with the Boys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a die-hard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys on this very moist and wet Tuesday here in the Star. We're in the SWBC podcast studio. I am joined by senior editor Kurt Daniels. Nate Newton will not be joining us today.
He's on the move.
He dissed us. He's on the move. He left me sitting on the porch. Left us sitting on the porch again, just like my dad. But that's all right because you, the people, are here. That first segment was brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets his wings. This segment is also brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets his wings, as well as blockchain.com. Okay. Little history. 2001, Washington Redskins quarterback coach. 2002 to 2005, San Diego Chargers quarterback coach. 26 to 2011, New York Jets offensive coordinator. 2012, 2014, Rams offensive coordinator. Went to Georgia, offensive coordinator / quarterback coach. Colts from 26-27, Seattle 2018 to 2020 offensive coordinator, Jacksonville Jaguars passing game coordinator and quarterback coach in 2021. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the newly named offensive coordinator for your Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. He will take over the offensive coordinator duties with the departure of Kellen Moore, who's headed to the LA Rams. Chargers. LA Rams. LA Chargers. You know what's been funny, Kurt? Former NFL running back Arian Foster came out with this weird comment about that there's a script that's given out to every player and team.
I saw something about that.
And it's one of the most hilarious things
Is
ever.
it?
Like, him saying it in the state that Aaron Foster might be in is not hilarious. But the way that the internet, who absolutely takes nothing serious, has taken that and turned that into something hilarious. And so now everyone's like, oh, when so-and-so saw the script, and they do all these funny memes and gifs and stuff like that. And I say all that to say Kellen Moore leaves here kind of under the depleted offense, not having it, and headed over to the Chargers, who are in talks that they may be getting rid of Everett and Keenan Allen. They're two of their top targets there. I was like, wow. I said Kellen Moore, and I put the gift on with Kellen Moore, like a quarterback for the Cowboys, and looks at the iPad and he's like flips it off like, oh boy. I said that's what Kellen Moore looks like when he got the script. And he'll be losing two of his top 3 pass catches over there. But the NFL script for us gives us Brian Schottenheimer.
Yes.
And through conversations and listening to what Mike and some other people said and asking around, it's a unique job. It holds the job title of offensive coordinator, but on game day, Mike McCarthy, who is the head coach, will be calling the plays. So some may ask, well, what is Brian going to be doing?
Right. That's a good question. I'd like to know that.
Right.
myself.
And so I've asked around, and what the responses have been that I've gotten was that he will take over the day-to-day stuff when it comes to kind of running practices from the offensive perspective, meetings, designing things like that, while Mike is still doing the overall head coaching stuff. Kind of still personnel. Mike's still going to be doing personnel-wise and day-to-day kind of planning of everything. But,
So when they're in the meetings breaking stuff down or going through the upcoming, game plan, that's Schottenheimer's going to be doing that.
I think it's going to be a collaborative between Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer in their coaches meeting.
Yeah.
And let me take you behind the scenes just for a second. Yeah. When you're going through a week of football, and I don't want to get too complex on you, but the days are broken down, right? You have your Monday comes in, it's normally a review of what happened on Sunday, Tuesday player days off, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at times, normally, I know Mike does it differently at times, but those are normal work days. Yeah. And what you end up coming in is you'll have your big team meeting. Everyone's in the big team meeting, right? And it can be, that meeting can literally last from 2 minutes to 30 minutes, all dependent upon how the coach is feeling. Okay. Once that meeting is adjourned, you break apart. You go offense, you go defense. And those are 2 separate meetings, normally run by the coordinators of those positions. But what happens within those offense and defensive meetings, coaches, running backs coach, tight ends coach, receiver coaches, lineman coaches, they have an opportunity to present a portion of this week's game plan.
Okay.
So let's just say when I was playing, Hudson Houck would come up and talk about some of the run game stuff. And he would come up there and he would present the run game to the entire offense. And then Coach Ray Sherman would come in and present some of the things that we're looking at for receiver-wise. And every day someone has an opportunity to break things down. And within that, you also have on first downs, a position coach may break down, hey, here's what we're looking at on first downs. And this is where offensively, the first 15 is developed.
Okay.
This is
first play.
The first 15, the script,
yeah.
Right? So through this is what they're telling you how the first 15 are going to play. Hey guys, on first down, here's what they primarily want to do. This team defensively on first downs are going to play cover this or cover 4 or cover 5, right? Hey, on third downs, this team as a fundamental base are going to play this, and here are some variations of that defense that they're going to play on third and short, and third and medium, and third and long. And so you take that and you encompass that into your game plan. Okay, that's how the meetings are working. It's done the same thing on the defensive side. Hey guys, on first down, the Cowboys are going to run the ball into the A-gap. Just know it's coming on every first down for a large majority of the time. Yeah. They're going to run the ball right into the A-gap on first down. They're not going to motion anybody. They're going to just run it right at us on first down. and we're going to get them for a loss, and they're probably going to run the same play again on second down. No, so that's how it's done offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
Now, what Brian Schottenheimer, I'm thinking, I don't know how he developed his game plan, but the question comes to, what is the identity going to be?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, no, I don't think we will know yet. But, well, before we jump there, so going back, so all the guys are in the offensive coaches are doing their thing and they're telling the whole meeting. Is McCarthy involved in any of that, or is he just kind of sitting back, or is he bouncing over to the defensive room? I mean,
I think when my first head coach here in Dallas was Wade Phillips.
Right.
So Wade, who was a defensive coordinator, and that's where he buttered his bread at in this league.
Yeah.
He would spend most of his time over in the defensive side of the ball, right? So he would be in those meetings and helping and conducting those meetings. But then he would walk back down the hallway and come into our meetings, and he would stand off to the side or sit off to the side. And every now and again, he'll come in and he'll comment.
Okay.
Then Jason Garrett took over, and it was the same thing, head coach, offensive coordinator. So he did the team meeting, and then once we broke down offense, defense, he was in the offensive meeting room. Now, because he was the offensive play caller and the offensive coordinator, he conducted a lot of the meeting, and very rarely did he leave and go down to the defensive meeting room.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So most of the time, depending on what that coach is, what is his background built in, offense or defense, he's going to spend most of his time there.
Yeah. Does that create, because they are going to have a guy setting up the offense in Schottenheimer, but McCarthy calling plays, is there any risk of confusion or different philosophies or whatever that the player would cause different communication, I guess, or miscommunication?
For me, because a lot of what we do as athletes, we get our communication from our position coaches.
Okay.
So now after you get done with your offensive defensive meeting, there's another meeting.
It's like
Go figure.
Going to school.
Yeah. Then you break down into your position meeting. And now it's getting more specific on what you just learned in the offensive defensive meeting and how that suits you specifically at your position. And that's where you get your tone is set from the offensive perspective. A coach will tell you that, all right, listen, fellas, this week we're going to be heavy on the run.
Yeah.
Because of here's what they present to us. It says that we'll be able to get the run off, or hey guys, this week's going to be on us.
Yeah.
This is one of the weeks where we can go eat. Go hunt, fellas.
Yeah.
This is your time to go and hunt, and we're putting in players to go do so. And so you get your tone from there, and then how it's how it's run back up the ladder is. And players like myself, I don't get much say-so in those meetings because I'm not the guy. But when you have your CD Lamb, right? CD is talking to his position coach and saying, Coach, listen, I saw in the meeting, the offensive coordinator meeting, the offensive meeting, man, we ran that bang 8. Like, I think we should run it like this.
Okay.
And so now CD will be able to take that to his position coach. They will then go out to the football field for practice, and maybe there's a little bit of a kind of a muddle huddle, and they may run it one way, and then the coach can kind of come, and CD may be able to come to Brian Schottenheimer and go, Coach, listen, man, I want to run the bang 8, but let me try to run it like this.
Okay.
And then they'll go, all right, hey, let's run it again. Okay, CD, let's see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then it's go, you know what? I like it. All right, he'll write it down, and then he'll go, hey, listen, going forward in this game, when we run this bang 8, we're going to run it like this against that coverage. Dak, you got it? CD, receivers, you got it? Quarterbacks, you got it? That's how we're going to do it.
Okay.
And it may change from week to week, but that's how it's kind of, it's kind of worked for that. But my only concern with the whole he's the offensive coordinator, but he's the play caller is on game day.
Okay. Yeah, well, that would be my worry too. That's when the miscommunication comes.
Correct. Mm. Because if Mike is calling the plays and being the head coach,
right?
Is there time for you to go over and sit with your quarterback?
True.
And kind of get that, because what you see on film, what you practice on the practice field, what happens in the game time can at times be 3 separate things. Because now you need to go over there and have that moment, and it may last longer than 2 or 3 minutes. It may last longer than 5 minutes. But I need to have that communication time with my quarterback as the play caller. Tell me, you hear Coach say all the time, tell me what you saw. What are you seeing?
Right.
Because that's going to help me because I'm standing from the side. You're looking down the gun barrel.
Right.
I need to see what you're seeing. I need you to explain to me what you're seeing. And how can we either improve, eliminate, do whatever to that specific play or a package of plays. That's my only concern is how is that going to work on game day? When Mike still has to be a game manager, right? You still have to look up there and go, hey, we need a red flag, or challenge a play, the clock is running. Like, that's the communication that the part that I worry about when it comes to those two guys.
Schottenheimer will be on the sidelines to kind of have those conversations? Or
I think he has to be.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he has to be. Because other than that, like, who's talking to Dak? Like, I get the old school phone thing, but that's I need somebody down there with me that I can, hey, look at the tablet and let's work through this thing, All right, let's take our last break of the show. When we come back, you want to grade some rookies?
I don't know.
You want to talk about bringing back Zeke or Pollard?
So much.
No, let's talk about all of it. We'll talk about all of it when we come back. This is Hanging with the Boys. We'll be right back.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they make just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys. This Tuesday, February 7th. We are, what is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? 6 days from the Super Bowl? Is the Super Bowl on Monday?
Sunday.
It's on Sunday.
I think they're talking about maybe a Monday.
Was it
Monday holiday or something? But
okay.
I think it's
Sunday. So we're 5 days away from Super Bowl Sunday. Question about Super Bowl Sunday for you, Kurt. Are you one who watches the game? Like, are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't watch any of the pregame stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like you are, some people are like, well, Cowboys are not in it. I'm not watching it.
No, I'll definitely watch some of it. Obviously, won't have as big a rooting interest in it at all. But right. I just, in which that's a good question I wanted to ask you is and kind of hinted at it earlier. But as players, like I get the impression sometimes that Nate would want the Eagles to win because that's representing the NFC conference. It's representing the East Division. That proves that they, it looks good on them because their division is winning.
Mm-mm.
Don't think so, but you don't want your rival to win. No matter what.
No. I don't want to be like, yeah, Duke, go win the national championship so that the ACC looks better.
Yeah, okay.
No. No, I want Lehigh to beat the brakes off them, right? I want,
Lehigh.
No
chance, huh?
No, not a chance, not a freaking.
How
chance.
are you going to partake this game?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I've talked about maybe because I have a connection. I did my pre and post game show at Texas Live this year. And so I have a connection down there where I don't have to spend the ungodly amount of money to get a table down there reserved. Because, it's like $700. It's probably more now because of Super Bowl. But, like, to go to Texas Live and to reserve one of those tables, like, in front of the big screen, you have to spend a minimum of $700 on game day.
Game day. I had no idea.
So now, but I'll say this. The table does sit, like, maybe 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So I guess if everybody's kind of, a couple drinks, some food, to collectively you hope that you can get the $700, but it's a $700 minimum.
Wow.
And I think sometimes depending on who we're playing, they kind of the price it's not set price, it fluctuates.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because some games they'll even some away games they'll charge for entry. It depends on how big the game is.
Really?
It's I mean, everybody's capitalist. Got to make your money.
Oh.
Got to make your money somehow. They learn from the best. They learn from the guy with the stadium right down the street.
That's right.
From right down the street from the stadium.
Charging how much for these tours?
Just whatever they want. Just whatever they want. Today, the tour is going to be $67.
Right.
Tomorrow,
yep.
$47.
That's right.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. One thing I do want to get to before we kind of move on to that was I posed a question about identity.
Yeah.
That's been a question that we've asked about this Cowboys offense. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy. Like, it's been a question.
Yeah.
And I pose a question to you, my good friend. With Brian Schottenheimer, with Mike McCarthy now taking over the play calling, knowing Mike comes from the West Coast, and he and Kellen kind of merged the Air Coryell and the West Coast a little bit together in trying to keep some things from the old while implementing some of his stuff from his past. What will the Cowboys identity be?
Well, first of all, I need you to the West Coast offense is more quick passes.
Correct.
That kind of thing.
Correct.
So it sounds like that's the direction he's going to go, and that I wonder though, are we going to see a huge difference in what this offense does, and therefore we may not know what the identity is, because I don't know what it. I mean, are the pieces in place to have an overhaul of your offense, or is there time? I mean, you got to think this is McCarthy's. If he don't do it this season, I mean, he's one and done now. Does he have the time to get this, not only implement his offensive scheme, but really get it clicking on all cylinders? Say what you say about Kellen's scheme and maybe getting a little dull and predictive. I mean, they knew it. They've been doing it so long.
Right.
I mean, is that going to be an issue for him in forging his new identity, that he's just not going to have the personnel or time to do it?
I think that's what's going to make this offseason so critical.
Yeah.
Because you know what you need as far as players in Mike McCarthy's perspective. He knows what players he needs, what type of players. Like Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn has always wanted, especially on the back end of his defense, tall, long, rangy athletes. And for the most part, they've went and gotten him those pieces. And so for Mike, it's going to be the same thing. It's like, and maybe it is, hey, last year we poured a lot of resources into that defense. And in the last couple years, to getting Dan Quinn exactly what he wanted.
Right.
And maybe this offseason and this draft and this whatever is going to be, hey, all right, Mike, what is it that you need? Because we're going to try our very best within reason,
right,
to give you the product that you need to perform at your optimal level.
Yeah.
And if you can't, your address will change.
Yeah.
So
does it, like, I assume that the routes, say, for the receivers are the same. They're just running this particular route more than they would have in the past, or the same with the offensive line blocking schemes or whatever. They know how to do it. They're just maybe doing it this way more than they would that way.
The repetition,
Yeah.
And I will say, because every offense, defense are always built to the thing that they want to do, right? So if I want to have a running game, I'm going to go draft and sign mauling, drafting, blocking offensive linemen.
Right.
If I'm going to spread this thing out and make this thing throw it all over the park, then I want to go find route runners, no matter the size, however it is. So you try to find those type of guys. I think for Mike, and what makes it a little bit different in the West Coast offense, it is a very quick, kind of almost look at what Green Bay does to us.
Okay.
Right? Aaron Rodgers gets the ball. It's out right now.
Yeah.
It's out right now. It's out right now. It's out right now. It's all these quick timing things, and they'll have some shots down the field, but everything is just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It comes out. It comes out fast. It comes out quick. It gets to the guy right now.
Yeah.
And so,
Is it too that like thought I saw somewhere that the receivers it's not so much stopping and curling and comebacks and all that. It's more
movement.
Giving it on the move.
You're giving it on the move. Yeah. Like everything is on the move. A lot. I'm say everything because I know y'all hold me like you said everything was on. Look at him stop right here. I'm like, let me not say that. A large majority of the stuff is you want to keep guys on the move.
Yeah.
And so that's where the timing comes from. It like. When Dak gets to that third drop, that third step, the ball has to be ready to come out. That fourth step, ball got to come out. And guys have to be in the window that they're supposed to be in. So I think that is the biggest work, preparation, what word am I looking for? Just the repetitions of that this offseason.
Yeah.
Whether it be here or at the Dak yard or wherever
Right.
they go. They got to get that down because – the key is for Dak Prescott as the quarterback to be able to identify what the defense is and know, to steal a Jason Garrett term, know that you know that you know that you know what you're looking at is correct.
Yeah.
Because the ball's coming out right now.
Quick decisions. So
it's coming out right now.
Yeah.
And so if a receiver Richard you, and you know what I'm saying, he goes in, he goes out, and the ball's gone. Yeah. So he got to come in and be in that window. He has to make sure he's at that depth. So all that is the thing about the West Coast offense. It's a precise running offense. When you hit it, chef kiss.
Would you?
But when you miss it,
Yeah.
when it's not clicking, and we saw that looks like a lot.
Yeah.
From Green Bay, kind of like what you saw in Tampa Bay earlier in the season. Like when it's not clicking and you can't get guys to be where they're supposed to be, that quarterback doesn't have time. Just the way that it's developed, he doesn't have time to go. Okay, you can't go back.
Would you have considered, although it's a different form of offense, would you have considered the Cowboys' offense last year precise?
Precise? No.
Can they get precise?
I hope.
It's a big hope.
And that's the place that we live at with this Cowboys team. It's never a definitive answer. It's always I hope, maybe, I like to believe.
Yes. We're developing.
I'm optimistic.
We're drafting.
We're developing. We're almost there. Next year's our year. Like that's what it's been.
Yeah.
So. Like even Brian Schottenheimer, I don't know what Brian Schottenheimer is going to be. Nobody knows. This is the part. This is the drug that Jerry and the Joneses are able to bottle up, put the cowboy blue tops on it, and sell it out to the people.
Yep.
Because you're going to you're going to be in 3 stages. You're going to be in hell no. You're going to be in maybe, and you're going to be all in.
Right.
Right? And so if I get a lot of people in all in, and I get some to be in maybe, and you're a fan, you're going to tend to lean into absolutely.
Yeah.
When the season comes around, and then those who are hell no, you're going to get them to move to, you know what? If the Cowboys go and sign one guy, those people from hell no will go, well, wait a second now. And then move into that maybe area.
Are there players in that? The hell no, maybe all in area?
Nah,
or as players, you're all in?
Like you try to be all in.
Yeah.
Like especially now, like they're going to try to come in and be all in on this thing. And then if it doesn't work, now if it works, we know how winning works. You win, Winning is all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is great. This is the best thing since sliced bread, and we can't wait. And where's Super Bowl at Minnesota next year? Where's it at? I don't know. Hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like it's that.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, you're just like, here we go. And then you'll start hearing all the stuff in there, hey, we gotta execute. Guys got to do their job.
Right.
We got to be where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then you'll hear I promise I will not throw any more interceptions. And I promise. And I'll be the best quarterback that you can. And I promise. You'll start hearing that talk again. So that's where we're at.
Great.
All right. That's it for us.
Who you got? Who you got in the game?
Oh, yeah. I got Kansas City.
Do you?
No.
Because you think they're winning, or because you don't like the
better.
Eagles?
No, they're better.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I am such a believer of the combination of Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, and Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid will go down as one of the best head coaches, play designers, scheme designers in NFL history.
Yeah.
And when you have an absolute alien for a quarterback, his ankle will be fine. In 2 weeks, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
They just keep rolling new guys in there. Yeah. Just, hey, give me the next 4-3 guy. Hey, give me the next 4-3 guy. Hey, give me the next 4-3 guy.
I'll be rooting for Kansas City. I'm originally from there.
You're from Kansas City.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for him. But I think Philly's the better team up top to bottom. I think they have a better defense. It's not going to be as easy as maybe it was last week for Kansas City. I think it's going to be a more physical game.
And I think Kansas City I think Cincinnati is the kryptonite to KC. There's some teams like, no matter what happens, like that team they just play us like they got us. They got us, we got them. It's just one of those always going to be. I think you're going to see this team just get back to that.
I think so.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Jesse.
Yes.
Next year's Super Bowl?
Yes.
Las Vegas.
So we start planning now. Get that RV sponsorship going.
I might. I've been.
First time it's ever been there.
I might
it's gonna be at the Alliance Stadium in Las Vegas.
I've always said I've been to Super Bowl when the Giants played in Arizona. Oddly enough, I've been to that one. And so, if you've been to one Super Bowl, I do have a question because you're a music guy. Halftime of the Super Bowl, are you all in on this Rihanna thing?
I rarely watch the halftime shows as well. I will sometimes. The one a couple of years ago, can't remember. They had the whole stage when they did the kind of history of I think Snoop was in there.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
Was that last year? That was a great one.
No. It was the Rams. Who won last year? The Rams. Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
it was in
that
LA.
was a great show. Yeah, I mean, I'm always. Sure, I'll check it out. I'm not.
I don't particularly care for the halftime show.
Yeah.
Like it's not my deal.
I don't stop down.
No,
I'm waiting for it, but
but I do care to look at.
Well,
Rihanna.
That always helps
for a couple minutes. Always helps.
Better.
Always helps. All right, man. Kurt,
yes, sir.
Awesome job. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for dragging me through this here.
We hope Nate is on the road and safe. He hadn't sent us any pictures. He normally updates us with pictures.
He does.
But maybe he's not by himself. So if he's not by himself, then he has someone to kind of tell the story if he goes missing. Then when he's by himself. All right, for Kurt Daniels.
Snatched someone off a porch somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Just right by my house. For Kurt Daniels, for Chris Beam in the back, for Audio Jazz, for Brother Willie, for Bro William, for Brother Will, I am Jesse Holly. This is Hanging with the Boys. We'll see you next week. We out!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?